of wheat production. 2010, US, China cultivate wheat, and Argentina, Australia are cultivating wheat. But if we continue Amazon development, only Canada, Russia would cultivate the wheat. So the wheat price would be expensive because the land will be shrink because of climate change. So wheat price, this is if we bought wheat $10, maybe in 2050s we would bought wheat $30 in same amount. So this is our topic. Will you spend much money than your children? And this is the reading sheet. And we will have a reading time for 8 minutes. And this is the summary of readings right now. And then we will start discussion, debate. And I will explain what addition means, the relationship of development of Amazon and our economic situation. As you read, based on your reading sheet, if we develop Amazon, we can grow more beef, so more cows, so the price of hamburger will decrease because the price of meat will decrease. So we can buy hamburger cheaper than now, maybe in 2020s. But our children would bought more expensive wheat than us because the climate change would cause the change area of cultivating area. So what do you want? Would you like to spend more money and cheaper than you or your children?
Comedy is development of study, so maybe you should.
Oh no, that's.
What do you want to?
Firstly, deforestation. Deforestation will not only affect kind of the forest, the resource we have, it also will affect some animals' habitat. Sometimes it even will destroy the animals' habitat. Also, some like wetland. This kind of thing, like they kind of remove the carbon dioxide from the air and they release the oxide. So this kind of wetland, this kind of forest help us to get our climate better, but some like for the profit, some like a company, maybe some countries like kind of deforest Amazon and they use the resource even kind of like to earn their profit. So I want to say maybe nowadays they still can earn their profit, but in the future, if there's no resource available, it will be a big problem for our offspring.
Then how do you think of this issue?
I don't think we should develop Amazon. As far as the food problem you just mentioned, I don't have food problem on that. So I think the development to develop Amazon is all about the profit that big companies concerns. So I don't think we should develop Amazon.
Yeah, if you're gonna think about other resources besides beef and I'm assuming mostly GMO wheat, like I think like lumber and stuff. Those are resources that you have to have quotas on in order to be able to replenish and keep sustainably having more produced. So I think like there's other resources in the Amazon that just clear cutting everything is just going to waste them, waste their ability to replenish. So it decreases the biodiversity and causes a lot of species to go extinct, which isn't as good for the agriculture or for the ecosystem and stuff. So.
What's your question?
The question is the development on Amazon. If we develop the Amazon, the food price will decrease because Amazon, the area is the place to cultivate crops and grow meat. But in the future, our descendants will buy more expensive food price because because of climate change, the wheat production area will be shrink. So, will you choose? Do you agree to develop Amazon or disagree? And there is the summary of the reading.
Okay, I see. I don't agree to develop Amazon, personally I think, because it's like a really beautiful place. Just like New York, everywhere you see all buildings. Everywhere is building. Only the national park, only the central park have forests. So I don't want to, want our children to see, everywhere building, no forests at all. So that's why I don't agree with. But that's not the main reason. The main reason is, if we cultivate Amazon, because Amazon has a big influence on the ecosystem all over the world. So if we do that, the all over the world, its environment will be affected badly.
And so does everyone disagree to develop Amazon here?
I don't think it should be developed. I think it would be.
How long do you think that the restaurant?
But so all evidence on the paper indicate we should not develop the Amazon. So
No.
There was one.
Here indicates to develop Amazon. The other side, World Bank, economists, and Greenpeace supported to stop developing.
What is the benefit
Okay.
of the southern pages?
But I think there is another options to make the food problem better instead of the development of Amazon. So it is too risky, I think. Yeah. Amazon has been okay for a long time, so why you should develop the Amazon?
For a long-term development.
Yeah, I think it should be preserved, and we should stop developing it for the most part because, and also although a lot of the wilderness land in Alaska is also it's been preserved, and the idea was that there is a lot of petroleum and oil in that area, and that you could increase supply if you developed it. But in the long run, having it preserved is a lot better.
Although there's also other ways of solving the food problem. You don't have there's always that question of like in my country, as in Indonesia, like we have problem with like a lot of people being poor, but at the same time we're cutting trees to make stuff cheaper because these people can afford only cheap stuff, and they can't afford it, like more expensive stuff. So it's much better for them to cut trees and deforest them, forest fires and stuff. 'Cause it's cheaper.
But,
'Cause,
but that's not the long term strategy.
no, that's the point. That's what I'm saying. That's what's happening right now.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that if you make Indonesian people, let's say, or any people in a country have a better economy, who are richer, they can afford food that are. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to like cheaper methods of cutting and like creating like these factories or like for food. Maybe like cutting down trees with using clear cutting. Maybe if people are more rich are more capable of buying more expensive food, then
Yeah.
you could use maybe like selective cutting for cutting these trees instead of clear cutting. It's a lot better.
Countries don't have to. If countries can make their own finished products and have like be self-reliant, then like they don't have to like give up all their resources as quick as they can.
Import,
Right.
export.
Fast buck.
You
Just to
mean
stay.
you want to use exportation to develop the economy?
To develop the economy.
I mean of your country.
Not, I don't think it's that. I think it's just that if you can in your own country you can self-sustain yourself. I think it's better. It's better if you can like sustain your own economy. Like you don't have to rely on whether it's like Amazon, like people like we're exporting stuff, we're importing stuff and exporting stuff in like other countries. And if you're self-reliant on yourself, you can make these people like have their own money and I think it's just better strategy.
Okay.
But the thing is, the resource decreases anyway. We're consuming resource, so.
I think this
Yeah.
was a distribution resource.
But I'm not sure it is the time that to development to the Amazon or not. We will develop the Amazon some other time, but I don't think it's now is the time to do that.
Actually, this environmental issue is also related to directly China and Indonesia, especially as Indonesia also has lots of rainforests, so it would apply to Indonesian case. For example, if Amazon affect 70% of oxygen all around the world, Indonesian rainforest affects about 10% of oxygen all around the world. And in Chinese case, as you know, in the spring season, Beijing is very dusty
Yes.
because of
Poor air
northern
quality.
northern
Northern China.
north and western China.
Just northeast or northwest, there's a kind of deforestation, so there's nothing to stop the sand come from the north.
But in Xinjiang Uyghur area, the Chinese company and government extract petroleum air, and it contributes to developing those areas like Urumqi. Yeah, but it would be harmful for global environment. And Indonesian case is also same. Let's think about it. So almost issue is related with us directly.
So in Indonesia, most of the clear cutting is done for production of what resource is it? Palm oil.
Yeah, mostly palm.
And that's mostly exported.
Yeah. Yeah, it's used in everything.
Yeah, it
Palm
is.
oil used in
Yeah, it's used in almost everything.
So, are there any other main resources in Indonesia?
mostly of agriculture.
Um,
Agriculture. I think agriculture is probably the biggest part. Other than that,
Because maybe oil is also plentiful, right? Oil is also plentiful.
resources,
Oil.
oil.
That's plentiful. Around the ocean, and then the ocean around Indonesia.
It's hard to say. Like we don't have the most.
You don't have not access to it, right?
Yeah, we don't have the most
Oil.
oil.
Yes.
We probably do have some like.
Yeah, I know.
But
Some
I
other
think
country.
I think our biggest income is probably from agriculture. Yeah.
How about?
Agree or disagree? I disagree to develop Amazon. Like, because like the price in the future will increase after like with decrease in this generation, but the next generation will increase again. So I don't think there's help anything. Like, what's the point? It's strange after the next generation. So just protect the Amazon will be better.
So, what do you think about the solutions?
Solution?
Yeah, if we want to save
Renewable
our
energy.
new energy, okay?
Renewable energy may be the best solution.
So
Like solar energy, tide, wind, maybe much more helpful. But nuclear energy.
wait, but you are talking about energy?
Yeah, renewable energy maybe help.
Help what?
Help to like develop other cities instead of us.
Help what? Sorry.
Like we can develop the renewable energy instead of Amazon.
Nuclear
Oh,
energy.
okay.
Yeah, renewable energy, kind of clean energy, you can say maybe. But it costs money and time.
It's like a very new topic, but I think it is necessary to do that for our future.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Currently, the world is kind of giving up the like fair energy, fair energy and what's that called? Fair energy and I don't know.
And I think it's time to make a conclusion in this discussion. So, do you still disagree to develop Amazon here, guys?
I don't think there's anyone agree.
Yeah, I think we all want to see the anteaters and the cool river dolphins and all that cool stuff. So,
I don't find a reason to. Like, do we really need cheaper food? Like,
Do you know nowadays there is some meat that they made of some tissues?
Tissue?
Yeah, meat is made of tissue.
yeah, we're talking about
What's
like
tissue?
McDonald's burger
Yeah,
material
yeah.
here. This isn't like
how
quality
it's like-
beef.
Yeah.
it's beef,
Some
but
chemical.
not beef.
I don't think if it's cheap or expensive. It really depends. It's like a theory of relativism, like as Albert Einstein said, and the more richer we are, and the food price also will go up. So for us, maybe we feel cheap, but we really don't know is it really cheap or not. But I think the main point is the food we eat must be high quality. That's what we should care about.
But
Yeah.
but high quality is just for rich people. There's still some poor people. Do you think about them? Like they want
Yeah,
food,
that's
they
why we
don't
have a meat
like
made of
yeah. You know what I mean?
I see. But why not think about how we can let those poor people access the
access a high quality food.
Mm.
Do you think
Well,
about
first they need money.
Yeah, just have like a class, between class and the class, they're really hard thing to see. Like if you want to still have a kind of same like quality, it's impossible.
What about some government intervention?
Also, communism is impossible. Communism is impossible.
What is community?
Karl Marx, do you know?
Okay.
Communism. Declaration of the shares.
Communism.
Yeah, that's kind of impossible.
That's why
Yeah,
earlier
that's a good
that's why
solution.
earlier I said if we were able to like boost our economy and make these people richer, they'd be able to afford these expensive food.
No, not really.
No, as in like we would be able to like even if people are more like when I say boost your economy, like I don't just mean like get people to have more money, but have more.
Have a strong public currency that isn't loan out as a loan interest.
Too, but
That'd be
like
good.
more safety.
That'd be a good start.
Like having a safety, like if people like there, you know, have you seen that triangle about people's needs? If people can be safe, and people have safety in terms of they can have, like some countries have like education that costs $1. Some education is free.
Not that not very rich, they kind of protect the poor people's basic rights, kind of insurance, maybe.
Yeah, but as like these poor people can like, if they don't have to think about education, if let's say they have a good way of getting good housing for maybe a cheaper price, like from government intervention or other ways, and like if they can take care of like if they have insurance, stuff like that. If you can get all of that, then food it could be like the only problem, and like they can use most of their income for that. You know what I mean?
Do you know second bill of rent?
Second bill
Of rent.
here.
Yeah.
No.
It's kind of a policy that used to protect poor people, like they call them like kind of unemployment insurance, same as UK. But I don't think other countries will have the same policy.
Yeah,
That's how we came to America, right?
That's the thing though. It's like, cause like if they don't like change the way. Yeah, I mean like we could help them, but like if like at the same time we're exploiting them. Understand? If they like
Leverage.
yeah, we're like people who are richer are exploiting other countries
Yeah, of course.
for their resources.
Yeah.
Kind of transform them into
Yeah.
the wealth.
And like if we keep doing that, then they'll never have a chance to actually grow.
But
Yeah, a lot of
you
these
know,
countries they have to sell their products at a certain price. They can't sell them at market rate, so they're
without
not able to diversify.
your opinion.
My opinion.
So
It's very tough.
This is just stupid.
Like
This is
if
a
you
stupid
want to
idea.
solve this problem, actually, what's laughing?
The talking is wrong. You can't debate.
Kind of obvious.
Conclusively, actually, Brazil also developed. Brazil government is developing renewable resources from corns. They make a petroleum from the corns, and it is the one of ways how to preserve Amazon rainforest to by Brazilian government. So everyone make a contribution to find a new way to develop Brazil and keep Amazon rainforest together. Is right?
I think that if you're talking about like carbon emissions, I think that having like a dense tropical rainforest has more of a absorption effect on those kinds of emissions. And I think that I don't know, using the land to produce ethanol and stuff wouldn't be as effective in reducing those emissions. I think having a dense rainforest area that's preserved is better overall.
And then I think today's debate is done from to here. And then I convert one another topic. Actually, it is related with the purpose of this club. Actually, this and actually name was derived from Chinese and Korean. And
Yeah.
There's something wrong
Who to do that translation?
with the Chinese.
底线边
Who to do that translation?
translation
Who translate for you?
is Korean's translated.
I mean the Chinese word.
Chinese word.
Who translate for you?
I think
Worm?
it's kind of weird.
Oh, sorry. Weird. Yeah, it's Korean
No,
Chinese.
it's okay. Impressive enough.
Okay. It's Korean Chinese actually. So we pursue to accumulate each one's note taking. This is the original purpose, but the school banned to accumulate our note taking because it is considered as plagiarism and sharing each instructor's
agree with that.
information like test, quiz. So the school really hate that problem and concern. So school actually banned and required to change the characteristic of the club. But so I suggest, sorry, two guys, are you taking math class in this quarter? No, you.
Me.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
Math class?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you taking math class?
I finished all my math already.
Really? Awesome.
No.
No.
Oh, yeah,
What
that's
math
good.
class are you taking?
142.
142. Nice.
142, 150 timing.
Yeah. So I suggest guys you to make a dictionary
Dictionary.
of math because
No
most students are taking math classes in this quarter. Dale takes math 142, Josh takes math 163, and Alice takes math 142, Madeline takes math 163, Gant takes math 151, and 2 and 152. Nemo takes math 151. I'm taking math 152. So almost most students are taking math, and so I suggest you to make a dictionary of math. And it isn't, as we will look at guys, it isn't plagiarism totally. We just summarize, organize our mathematical concepts which was provided in this campus. So do you agree or do you follow this idea?
Do you want us to like by chapters that we go over in the quarter, like do like a detailed notes and
Notes.
and diagrams? Yeah.
One question.
Is
if
it-
we sell it, how much?
Huh?
If we sell it, how much do we have?
We don't sell, but we make a book.
But there's a problem. The students taking higher class, they don't take any benefit from
Using them as a
Yeah.
resources.
No, they'll have asked me. Would you say that to them one more
So-
time?
People taking higher class, math class, they are not going to take any benefit from that process. So that's kind of problem, I think.
No.
Yeah,
We do
since
it
I
to share it with people who are
yeah, you can share it, but if you are done with the class, lower class, then why are you doing this?
No. You can remind of what you learn during this process, and it would be helpful for
reminding?
preparing for your test, because some teachers really strictly requires mathematical concepts like Steve Bogart. Everyone knows him. Yeah, I think Frank Kuzmaski is another teacher who requires mathematical concepts strictly, as I heard. But I'm sure Steve Bogart checks mathematical concepts really strictly. And Sarah Radin, she is also one of that kind of teacher.
With a Hawkeye.
So I think it is beneficial for everyone.
Actually, I don't understand what we are doing.
Like
You mean
to make
make a brochure of math concepts?
For you or for everyone?
for everyone.
I don't understand. Wait, what are we doing?
Like by concept,
should
like
know.
this is that.
So what we learn, right, is like
Yeah, in math class.
Madeline, do you know Carissa in our class?
no.
Well, she does like really well detailed notes, like almost like a book, and she like does kind of like what June was saying.
Oh, you mean make a make a brochure for
Oh.
for our math concepts?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
In this quarter, and you suggest this idea is derived from your ideas. You suggested last week to do a project, special project
You mean proposal?
proposal. Yeah, and I think it can be related with everyone. It is possible. Do you agree to do that, or do you do another thing?
I think it's a good idea because sometimes the way that your professor gives certain instructions on concept doesn't really quite click with some people, and then with a book it might not click. So this is another option, so they can see it from kind of like a student's, someone who's like was at their level at one point, like figuring it out, and then like I think it's more of a relatable.
Personally, not officially, because if you do that officially, it would make problem. But personally, you can do it one by one.
But our instructor is different. How can I should test information?
Take a picture.
Get 0, man.
No, I never do it. You just encourage others.
No, I ain't doing that. I get 0.
So
I personally, I think not necessary because everyone can access it.
if you,
I mean, Eddie is not taking math class, so
Yeah.
and the Gant is taking 152. So I don't know why he should do this. The idea you just mentioned.
because he can remind of math what he learned
You
exactly.
you really want to remind of what you learned?
It depends on him.
You can't do this. You can.
Not remind me. I just want
Can you come here to do that?
Not
I don't think there's really big advantage for him, so that's why I'm keep mentioning this.
How about just test
Yeah.
information?
You can do it personally, not the club.
Yeah.
Of course, the
You can
co-
sacrifice. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't.
No.
You know, I don't stop him.
But during yeah. Are you
No,
done?
no. Yeah, I'm done.
Actually, during the club meeting time, we keep doing discussion, but in another way. Personally, we will do that, and in the end of the quarter, I accumulate each one's notes, and then I will print it and publish the guidebooks, and so
Then are we gonna sell it?
no, it's impossible, but we can collect each quarter.
We just share personally. It doesn't make any sense. Just club people. Come on.
And I never take a note.
Our club just has several. We just have several people. Will we share with other people in the campus or?
You can share with other people. It's
So you are talking about helping people? with
yeah,
that?
right.
Why don't you go to a math learning
Yeah.
center?
How about we do it as a competition? So like, me and Madeline are both in 163. We each make our own complete guide to Math 163, and and then you could kind of judge us based on like professionalism and well explaining things well, and like
Competition.
production value and.
Yeah. I don't know another competition. To be honest, but that's not a bad idea. Though.
Good job.
What is it? This one? This one?
Yeah, why not?
Are you looking at something?
Excuse me, 142 that
Sine, cosine, Pre-calculus. tangent.
it's
Pre-calculus.
pre-calculus too?
Pre-calculus.
Yeah, I know someone in that.
Sine, cosine, tangent.
Sine, tangent.
看到一样的数字一般就基本。
Okay, let's vote and more than people who doesn't like it. I abolish this proposal right now.
知道你说我就好了，
Okay.
我就
Yeah.
知道。
I mean, yeah, you don't have
Does-
to abolish it.
Yeah.
You could like
Abolish.
personally.
You can keep it. You know,
Okay.
like
Abolish.
a year later.
Okay, so those who agree my idea. Nemo,
I don't think no.
Dale,
I agree with you.
and you don't agree
No.
With what, abolishing it or with keeping it?
to make a note and to publish dictionary.
I think yes.
For yes. But for guys, no.
Yeah.
Okay, no, can't. No.
Are we gonna do a vote, like yes or no? Raise
You
your
know what?
hands.
I'll say just no.
No? Okay, yeah, you
I'm
know.
sorry. Yeah.
Alright, everybody who's in favor of it.
Yes.
No.
Josh.
Are you raised or not? I never think no. Be clear, okay? I never think no. Actually, I never think no. You can start right.
But we have time to think about
Yeah.
different ideas.
Right.
Right. So we don't have to vote right now.
Okay.
Right. It's kind of hard decision. Let's think about different ideas.
Okay.
I guess for now, you three can do it. Right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you guys are like for
It's
it.
it's
Yeah.
alternative idea. 3 guys do that. That's 151, 152, 63. And then think of it next quarter one more time. Is okay?
Yeah.
야, 기본이 쉐 우리 세 번 해.
Okay. And then next quarter I invite not next quarter. Next week I invited one instructor and she will teach us the debate skill and how to organize our thinking logically. Okay. So we will do real discussion after 2 weeks.
After 2 weeks?
Uh-huh.
So
Oh,
next
okay,
week
yeah,
쉬는 거야? Next
No.
week. What is next week?
No meeting next week.
No, we
Okay.
have meeting, but we have a
Guest
meeting.
speaker next week.
Can I debate with her?
If you want, you can.
You want
You
to
can
do
keep
it?
your hands. Soccerboard.
Okay.
수고하셨습니다.
수고하셨습니다.
Thank you.
I had a good time.
감사합니다.